The photograph arrives on a Tuesday. Plain manila envelope, no return address. Inside, a picture of Damien and me on his balcony mid-kiss, taken from the building across the street. Across the bottom, in red pen, just like Isabel. My hands shake so badly I drop it. Lily is at kindergarten. Damien is in a meeting. I'm alone in his penthouse with proof that someone is watching us, comparing me to a dead woman, implying, what? That I'm next? That he's dangerous? I should call the police. Instead, I call Marcus. There's something you're not telling me, I say when he arrives. About Isabel's death. He looks at the photo and goes pale. Where did you get this? Someone sent it. Marcus, what am I missing? He sits heavily, rubbing his face. Isabel wasn't just depressed. She was being stalked. Anonymous messages, photos, gifts. It made her paranoid, convinced someone was watching her. Damien thought she was delusional, even I did, until after she died and the messages stopped. My stomach drops. Because whoever was sending them got what they wanted. The police investigated but found nothing. No prints, no IP traces, nothing. He looks at me and his eyes are haunted. Elena, if this is starting again, if someone's targeting you now, then they want Damien to think he's cursed, that everyone he loves dies. Or they want to make it come true. I don't tell Damien. Not yet, because that night, for the first time since his wife died, he's happy. Genuinely, freely happy. We cook together. Him chopping vegetables with surgical precision while I roast a chicken that's become our ritual. Lily is a whirlwind of flour and chaos, making cookies that are mostly sugar and food coloring. Mommy, can Damien be my daddy? She asks with the casual brutality of children. I freeze. Damien goes still. Lily, I'd be honored, he says quietly. My daughter beams. I want to cry, because in this moment, in this kitchen covered in flour and bathed in golden light, we're a family. A broken, cobbled together, completely impossible family. And I'm terrified of how much I want to keep it. After Lily crashes on the couch, Damien pulls me into his bedroom. I need you to know something, he says, and his voice is different. Raw. Unguarded. Damien, I'm falling in love with you. He says it like a confession, like a crime. Not because you saved me, not because you cook or because your daughter is magic, but because when I'm with you, I remember who I was before grief hollowed me out. You make me want to be human again. I should tell him about the photo, the warning, the danger. Instead, I kiss him. This time it's different. Slower. Deeper. Less desperation, more choice. His hands are reverent on my skin like he's memorizing every inch, every breath. I'm scared, I whisper against his mouth. Me too. What if we ruin each other? Then we'll be ruins together. He pulls back, searches my eyes. Stay, not as my nurse, as, whatever this is, move in. Let me take care of you and Lily. Let me love us? Worship you. The word hangs between us. Sacred and terrifying. I think of my tiny apartment, my empty bank account, my daughter's face when she asked if he could be her daddy. I think of the photograph hidden in my bag. Yes, I hear myself say. Yes to all of it. His smile could resurrect dead things. We make love like we're trying to prove we're real, that this isn't just grief and gratitude wearing romance's mask. He's gentle and desperate and completely present, whispering my name like a prayer. Afterward, tangled in sheets that cost more than my rent, he traces my collarbone. Thank you, he says. For what? Choosing me even though I'm a disaster. I think of the photo, the stalker. The danger I'm pulling my daughter into. We're both disasters, I say. If only I knew how true that was. The next morning, Lily doesn't wake up. Won't wake up, and can't. She's breathing but unresponsive. Her skin clammy, her pulse weak. The ambulance ride is a blur of sirens and terror. Damien holds my hand so tight it hurts, his face a mask of controlled panic. Food poisoning, the ER doctor says after an eternity. Severe but treatable. What did she eat? Cookies, I whisper. She made cookies yesterday. Could they have been contaminated? Damien and I lock eyes, the flour, the sugar, the ingredients in his untouched, previously pristine pantry. Someone didn't just send a warning. They tried to kill my daughter. While Lily sleeps under observation, I finally show Damien the photograph. His reaction is terrifying. Not anger, cold, calculated. The CEO who built an empire returns, and I glimpse the ruthless man beneath the grief. I'm going to find who did this, he says quietly, and I'm going to destroy them. Damien, they poisoned your daughter, Elena, our daughter. His voice breaks on that word. I won't let anyone hurt her or you. I don't care what it takes. What if it's someone close to you? What if... Then they chose wrong. He cups my face and his eyes are mercury and murder. I've already lost one woman I loved. I won't lose another. You can't watch me. And I realize I've unleashed something in him, something protective and possessive and possibly dangerous, something that might save us, or damn us both. Lily wakes at dawn, groggy but alive. Mommy? She whispers. Did I do something wrong? I hold her so tight she squeaks. No, baby, never. You're perfect. Over her head, I see Damien on the phone in the hallway, his voice low and lethal. The stalker wanted to break him by breaking me. Instead, they've made him willing to break the world, and I'm not sure which terrifies me more, that he'll go too far, or that I'll let him. The security footage reveals everything and nothing. A woman, thin, dark-haired, moving through Damien's building with practiced ease, entering his penthouse 3 days ago while we were out. She wore gloves, knew the camera's blind spots, took exactly 4 minutes to contaminate the pantry. Her, Damien breathes and his face goes white. Who? I demand. Isabel's sister, Victoria. The name lands like a bomb. Marcus, standing beside us in the security office, closes his eyes. Jesus, Damien. I told you she was unstable. She blamed me. Damien's voice is hollow. For Isabel's death. At the funeral, she screamed that I'd murdered her sister. I hoped she'd gotten help. Moved on? Instead, she came back to finish what her sister started, Marcus says grimly. Destroying you by destroying everything you love. I look at the frozen image of Victoria on the screen. She has Isabel's bone structure, Isabel's dark hair. She looks like a ghost given flesh. Where is she now? I ask. Damien's smile is frightening. That's what we're going to find out. He finds her in 2 hours. Money and connections and barely legal surveillance. Victoria is staying at a boutique hotel downtown using a fake name paying cash. I'm going with you, I say when Damien stands to leave. Absolutely not. She poisoned my daughter. I have a right. She's dangerous, Elena. Obsessed. If she thinks you've replaced Isabel, then she needs to hear from me that I'm not going anywhere. I grab my jacket. You don't get to protect me from this, Damien. We're in it together, remember? For a moment I think he'll argue. Then his shoulders sag. Together, he echoes. Even when it's stupid? Especially when it's stupid. Marcus drives us. The hotel is expensive but anonymous. The kind where no one asks questions. Room 412. Damien doesn't knock, just uses the master key his money secured. Victoria is sitting by the window. Backlit like a pre-Raphaelite painting, she doesn't seem surprised to see us. Took you long enough, she says softly. Up close, the resemblance to Isabel is eerie. But where Isabel was soft, Victoria is sharp. Where Isabel was broken, Victoria is breaking things. Why? Damien's voice is surprisingly gentle. Why hurt an innocent child? Because you don't deserve happiness. She says it matter-of-factly, like explaining the weather. You killed my sister. Pushed her off that balcony because she was inconvenient. And then you replaced her with... She looks at me with pure venom. Or with her. Some nobody nurse with a brat who made you forget Isabel ever existed. That's not what happened, I say, but my voice shakes. Isn't it? Victoria stands and I see the knife too late. She doesn't lunge, just holds it casual, conversational. Isabel called me that night, she continues. Crying, terrified, said Damien was going to kill her. I didn't believe her, she'd said crazy things before. But then she was dead and he was fine and I realized she was right. I loved your sister, Damien says, and tears streak his face. I failed her, but I didn't kill her. Then why are you alive and she's not? The question hangs, unanswerable. Because I was a coward, Damien whispers. Because when she needed me to see how sick she was, I dismissed her. Because I thought love alone could fix her. And by the time I understood it couldn't, she was already on that balcony, slipping through my fingers. Victoria's hand trembles. You don't get to cry for her. Why not? I've cried every day since she died. He takes a step forward and I want to scream for him to stop. I've wanted to follow her off that balcony every single day. The only reason I didn't was because I was too much of a coward to do even that right. Damien, I started. And then Elena walked into my life with her daughter and her roast chicken and her impossible kindness. And for the first time since Isabel died, I wanted to stay alive. He's openly sobbing now, and it's devastating. Not because I forgot Isabel, but because Elena reminded me that living isn't a betrayal of the dead. It's the only way to honor them. Victoria's face crumples. The knife wavers. I miss her, she whispers. I miss my sister. So do I, but you get to move on. You get to be happy. And she's just... I fed him poison and he smiled. Not literal poison, though God knows I considered it. Just plain roasted chicken, the kind my daughter Lily begged me to make for the sad man who lives in the tower. She's 5. She doesn't understand that Damien Cross, tech billionaire and CEO of Titan Industries, isn't some fairy tale monster we can fix with kindness. She doesn't know his wife threw herself off their penthouse balcony 6 months ago, or that he's been dying slowly ever since, refusing food, refusing therapy, refusing to be anything but a beautiful corpse in a $15,000 suit. I'm the private nurse his assistant hired in desperation. 4th one this month. The others quit because he wouldn't eat, wouldn't speak, just stared at them with those hollow gray eyes until they couldn't take it anymore. I wasn't supposed to bring Lily to work. Childcare fell through and I'm 3 months behind on rent. So here we are. Me trying to convince a man to drink a protein shake while my daughter colors on his imported Italian marble floor. You have to eat, I say, for the 100th time. He doesn't even look at me, just sits in that leather chair by the window, staring at the city below like he's measuring the fall. Lily pads over with her drawing, a crooked house with a yellow sun. This is for you, she announces, pressing it into his lap. I freeze. Don't touch him, baby. Don't get close. But she's already climbing onto the arm of his chair, fearless the way only children are around broken things. My mommy says you're sick. I get sick too sometimes. She makes me chicken and I feel better. Something flickers in his eyes. Brief. Barely there. Lily, come here, I whisper. Can your mommy make you chicken? She asks him, tilting her head. His voice comes out like gravel scraping stone. My wife is dead. Lily considers this with the gravity of someone explaining why the sky is blue. Then my mommy can make you some. She's really good at it. I want to drag her away, apologize, flee. But then he looks at me, really looks at me for the first time in 3 weeks. Can you? He asks. I should say no. Should maintain professional boundaries. Should protect my daughter from this haunted stranger who reeks of expensive cologne and expensive grief. Instead, I nod. 2 hours later, I'm in his chef-quality kitchen that's never been used. Roasting chicken with rosemary because it's the only thing I know how to make that doesn't come from a box. Lily sets his table with mismatched enthusiasm, folding napkins into lumpy shapes. When I set the plate in front of him, I expect nothing. The doctor said his appetite is gone. Trauma-induced anorexia complicated by severe depression. He's lost 30 pounds. His body is eating itself, but he picks up the fork, takes a bite, closes his eyes, and something in his face breaks open. It tastes like... He stops, sets down the fork with shaking hands. Like I remember what living felt like. Lily beams. See, mommy's magic. He eats half the plate. More than he's eaten in months, according to his assistant's frantic texts. When he's done, he looks at me with an intensity that makes my spine straighten. What's your name? Elena. I'm already gathering our things, ready to establish distance. Elena Torres. How much are they paying you, Elena Torres? That's double it, triple it. I don't care. He stands, and even emaciated, he's imposing. I want you here. Every day. You and your daughter. Mr. Cross, Damien. He takes a step closer. Call me Damien. And before you say no, his eyes are silver gray and drowning. Understand that I haven't wanted to live since the day I watched my wife die. But your daughter looked at me like I was human. And this, he gestures to the empty plate. This is the first thing that didn't taste like ashes. I should run. Every instinct screams it, but I see the desperation in his face. The kind that looks like hope learning to breathe again, and I'm 3 months behind on rent. Okay, I hear myself say. He smiles then. Slow, devastating, slightly unhinged. Okay, he echoes. Lily tugs my hand as we leave. Mommy, I think we fixed him. Oh, baby, I think. Watching Damien cross through the closing elevator doors, his eyes tracking me like I'm the last solid thing in his dissolving world. I think he's about to break us instead. The next morning, there's a car waiting outside my apartment. Not a taxi. A private car with leather seats and a driver who calls me Ms. Torres like I'm someone important. Lily thinks it's a game. I think it's a red flag wrapped in luxury, but I get in anyway. Damien is in the kitchen when we arrive, cooking. Or trying to. There's flour on his Brioni dress shirt and murder in his eyes as he stares at a YouTube video about pancakes. You're early, he says without looking. Up, you're baking. Lily likes pancakes. He flips one. It lands half on the pan, half on the burner. He curses, actually curses, and my daughter giggles so hard she snorts. Something warm and dangerous unfolds in my chest. This wasn't supposed to happen. He was supposed to be a patient, a job, a check I cashed to keep the lights on. But watching this devastated man burn pancakes for my daughter, I realize he's already something else. Something worse. Days blur into weeks. I cook, he eats. Lily draws pictures that cover his walls, replacing expensive art with crayon catastrophes. He starts asking questions about me, my life, why I'm a nurse instead of a chef when I cook like you're trying to resurrect the dead. Maybe I am, I say without thinking. His smile is sharp. Then we're both necromancers. The boundaries I promised to maintain dissolve like sugar in rain. He pays me obscenely well, but money isn't why I stay. I stay because when Lily laughs, he laughs. Because he starts eating without prompting. Because the ghost behind his eyes recedes inch by fragile inch. I stay because I'm lonely too, and he sees it. 3 weeks in, his assistant Marcus pulls me aside. You're a miracle worker, he says, but you need to be careful. Of what? Him. Marcus glances toward the living room where Damien is teaching Lily chess with infinite patience. He's not stable. His wife's death, there are things you don't know. Then tell me. She didn't jump, Elena. She fell. During a fight. With him. He lets that sink in. The investigation cleared him, but barely. And he's never forgiven himself. My blood goes cold. Are you saying? I'm saying grief makes people unpredictable. And Damien Cross has more money than morality when he wants something. I should quit. Walk away. Protect my daughter from whatever this is becoming. But that night, Damien asks me to stay after Lily falls asleep in his guest room. I need to tell you something, he says. We're on his balcony, the city sprawling below like scattered diamonds. He's drinking whiskey straight from the bottle, and I'm too scared to move. My wife, Isabel, she was sick. Not physically, mentally. Depression, paranoia, delusions I didn't understand until it was too late. His voice cracks. The night she died, she accused me of poisoning her. Said I wanted her gone so I could be free. We fought, she ran to the balcony. I grabbed her arm, tried to pull her back, but he stops, breathes. She looked at me like I was a monster. And she let go. Silence stretches between us, sharp and fragile. Why are you telling me this? I whisper. He turns and his eyes are molten silver. Because you need to know what you're walking into. I'm not some tragic hero you can save, Elena. I'm the villain who couldn't save anyone. Then why am I here? Because your daughter looked at me and saw something worth feeding. And you... He steps closer, close enough that I can smell cedar and desperation. You look at me like I'm still human. Like I haven't already fallen off that balcony myself. My heart hammers against my ribs. Damien, I'm obsessed with you. The words come out raw, jagged. With your kindness, your daughter's laugh, the way you hum when you cook. You've become the only reason I remember to breathe. And I know that's not fair. I know I'm paying you to be here, that this is... Stop. I press my fingers to his lips before I can think better of it. Big mistake. Huge. Because he goes utterly still. His breath hot against my skin, and I feel the exact moment everything shifts. Tell me to leave you alone, he whispers against my hand. Tell me you're just my nurse and I'll never bring this up again. Lie to me, Elena, please. I should. God, I should. Instead, I say, what if I can't? His control shatters. He kisses me like I'm oxygen and he's been drowning. Desperate, consuming, terrifying in its intensity. I kiss him back because I'm just as lonely, just as broken. Just as hungry for someone to see me as more than a uniform and a paycheck. When we break apart, we're both shaking. This is a mistake, I breathe. I know. I have a daughter, responsibilities. I can't. I know. Then why does it feel inevitable? He cups my face with hands that tremble. Because you fed me when I wanted to die, and now I'm addicted to the way you make the world taste like it's worth staying in. Behind us, through the glass, I see Lily sleeping peacefully in a bed that cost more than my car, and I realize we're not falling, we've already fallen. 1 month, I whisper. Give me 1 month to figure out if this is real or just grief and gratitude, and if it's real, then we deal with the consequences. His smile is beautiful and broken. Deal, but consequences I'll learn. Don't wait for permission, they're already here. Wearing my daughter's face and his dead wife's accusations, and neither of us sees the fall coming until we're already screaming through the air. Gone. Damien closes the distance between them, gently takes the knife. She's gone, Victoria, and we can't bring her back by destroying each other. Victoria collapses into his arms, sobbing with the kind of grief that has nowhere left to go but out. I stand there, shaking, watching Damien hold his dead wife's sister while she breaks apart. And I understand we're all ghosts here, all haunted by the same woman. The police come. Victoria doesn't resist. She confesses to everything, the photos, the stalking, the poisoning, in a flat voice that sounds like relief. I just wanted you to hurt the way we hurt, she tells Damien before they take her away. I did, he says gently. I do, every single day. She looks at me then. Take care of him. He's more fragile than he looks. It's not forgiveness, but it's not murder either. I nod. That night, alone in his penthouse, Damien falls apart completely. Not crying. Something worse. He sits on the floor of his bedroom, staring at nothing, barely breathing. I can't do this, he whispers when I kneel beside him. I can't be someone you rely on. I'm too broken, Elena, too ruined. Victoria was right. Everyone who gets close to me ends up destroyed. That's not... Isabel died because I couldn't save her. Lily almost died because someone wanted to hurt me. And you... His eyes are wild. You'll be next. You should take Lily and run before I ruin you too. Stop. I grab his face, force him to look at me. You didn't ruin anyone. Isabel was sick. Victoria was hurting. And Lily and I chose to be here. You don't get to make that choice for us. But what if I can't protect you? Then we'll protect each other. That's what families do. Family. He says the word like it's foreign, impossible. Yes, you traumatized idiot. Family. I kiss him, hard. Now get off the floor and come to bed. Your daughter is sleeping down the hall and she'll want pancakes in the morning. My daughter, our daughter, if you still want that. His expression shatters and rebuilds simultaneously. More than anything, he whispers. But lying in bed that night, holding him while he finally sleeps, I can't shake the feeling that Victoria's arrest wasn't an ending, it was an intermission. Because broken people don't heal linearly, and the man I love is more fractured than either of us wants to. Admit, please, I think, staring at the ceiling. Please let this be real. Let us be strong enough. But the universe, I'm learning, doesn't answer prayers, it only asks, what are you willing to sacrifice to keep what you love? And I'm terrified the answer is everything. 6 months later, I'm making roast chicken when Damien gets the call. He takes it in his office. Returns with a face I don't recognize. Victoria's dead, he says flatly. Suicide. In prison. The wooden spoon falls from my hand. Lily, coloring at the kitchen table, looks up with wide eyes. She's 6 now. Old enough to understand death, but young enough to think it can be fixed. Is that the sad lady? She asks. Damien nods, then walks out onto the balcony. I follow. He's gripping the railing so hard his knuckles are white. Staring at the place Isabel fell. She left a note, he says without looking at me. Victoria. It was addressed to me. What did it say? That she was sorry? That the poison wasn't meant to kill Lily, just make her sick enough to scare us. That she never wanted to become the monster grief made her. He laughs, broken. She said she finally understood why Isabel let go that night. Because sometimes staying alive hurts more than falling would. I don't touch him. Not yet. Do you understand that? I ask quietly. He's silent for so long I think he won't answer. I used to, he finally says. Before you. Before Lily. When every breath felt like swallowing glass. He turns and his eyes are red-rimmed but clear. But now? Now I understand why people stay. Even when it hurts. Even when it's hard. Why? Because roast chicken on Tuesdays. Because a 6-year-old calls me Damien Daddy and thinks I hung the moon. Because you look at me like I'm not a disaster, or maybe like I'm a disaster worth having. Tears blur my vision. You're definitely a disaster. The worst kind? The best kind. I take his hand. The kind that makes really good pancakes now and only burns them 30% of the time. His laugh is watery but real. I want to marry you, he says suddenly. Not because I'm trying to replace Isabel or fix myself or any of that psychological nonsense, but because you fed me when I was dying and I want to spend the rest of my life feeding you back. In every way that matters. It's not romantic, not poetic, it's perfect, yes, I say, but only if we elope. I'm not planning a wedding, I'm barely keeping a 6-year-old alive. Deal. He kisses me and it tastes like grief and gratitude and the future. Can we at least tell Lily? She'll demand a dress made entirely of glitter. I'll buy the craft. Store. We tell her that night. She screams so loud the neighbors probably call the police. Then she draws a picture of the three of us, stick figures holding stick hands, and tapes it to the fridge next to Isabel's photo, so your angel wife can see, she explains. To Damien with 6-year-old logic, he cries, I cry. Even Marcus, who's come over for dinner, tears up. You're all disasters, he says fondly. The best kind, we say in unison. We marry at City Hall on a Thursday. Lily wears a dress that is indeed 70% glitter. Damien wears a suit that costs more than some cars but looks at me like I'm wearing diamonds. I wear the blue dress I bought at Target. It's perfect. Afterward, we go home, our home now, all three of us, and make dinner together. Roast chicken because it's tradition. Lily's catastrophic cookies for dessert. To disasters, Damien says, raising his glass of sparkling cider, because Lily insists on toasting too. To families, I counter. To chicken. Lily adds, and we all laugh until we cry. That night, after Lily crashes in her new bedroom, painted pink covered in glow-in-the-dark stars, Damien and I stand on the balcony. He doesn't look over the edge anymore, just at the city alive and glittering. Do you think she'd hate me? He asks. Isabel. For moving on. I consider lying. Choose truth instead. I think she'd want you to live. Really live. Not just exist. Victoria said the same thing, in her letter. He shows it to me finally, crumpled, stained with what might be tears. The last lines read, I understand now why Isabel let go. Not because she wanted to die, but because she couldn't figure out how to live. Don't make her mistake, Damien. Don't make mine. Hold on to Elena like she's the only solid thing in the world, because one day she might be. I press my face against his shoulder and breathe him in. Cedar and soap and home. I'm not going anywhere. I whisper. Promise, promise. Even when I'm insufferable, especially then. He kisses the top of my head. I love you, Elena Cross. The name still sounds foreign. I'll get used to it. I love you too, you beautiful disaster. Months later, I find Lily on the balcony, staring at the sky. What are you doing, baby? Talking to the angel wife, she says simply. Telling her thank you. For what? For letting Damien Daddy go, so he could be my daddy. My heart shatters and rebuilds. I'm sure she appreciated that. She said, you're welcome. I don't ask how she knows. Some things children understand better than adults. Inside, Damien is burning pancakes and cursing creatively. I can hear him from here. Come on, I say, taking Lily's hand. Let's go save breakfast. And Daddy? Him too. We walk inside together, leaving the ghosts on the balcony where they belong, remembered but not ruling us. Because that's the thing about grief. It doesn't disappear. It just makes room. Room for laughter, for burned pancakes, for glitter dresses and terrible cookies, for love that tastes like roast chicken and second chances, for families built from broken pieces that somehow fit together perfectly. I fed him poison, and he smiled. I'd thought that first day, but I was wrong. I fed him life, and he smiled because finally he remembered how.